guys plan to retire in the Philippines?
I wanted, I wanted to retire. I don't think he wants to retire there.
Has he
You know,
ever been to the Philippines?
he did twice. I'm not sure. I think he loves his country. I'm not saying I don't like love this country. I love this country. This country given me a lot of opportunity that I've never had it
Mm.
back in PI. Probably more than likely, but I'm not saying it's not. I'll probably go there from time to time. But yeah, because if you retire there, your retirement monies could go
Mhm.
along.
You mentioned that you were given a lot of opportunities when you were here.
Mm-hmm.
And you did not have that kind of exposure or opportunities back in the Philippines. So I guess in conclusion, your life got better when you
Much
got
better.
here.
Yeah, much better here than back home. So yeah, I probably back home I would just work contractually. Like every 6 months, the contract is gonna be like um renewed all the time. Because the last
Never a
time I
full time.
never a full time, or I'm working for an agency. Like my last job there is in Nestle, the Nestle company. So but Nestle had like an agency that you have to apply there, and
Mhm.
will put you in Nestle or in the company that their like their accounts, where they put their employees are. That's how it is back then, like 17 years ago. Yeah, it's gonna be that way. You don't have really full benefits compared to what I'm making now. Back there, I'm not gonna make what I'm making now. You know, in comparison. So
Yeah.
they're flexible. But it's really here. It's really flexible. And then having this job is really a good opportunity, and that you cannot what do you call that? You cannot exchange it to something else, value it, and like it is important.
How is
Some
it for you working with Americans?
it's hard at first to adjust the value, the attitudes, the clicks. So,
Mhm.
uh, it's a matter of you have to adapt it. I went through a lot, like adjustment. So
That's
that
one thing I can say very openly and proudly.
mm,
Filipinos are very hardworking people, and I admire you when you mentioned earlier that that's one of the values that you are imparting or like pushing for your kids to have.
that, that you have to work hard in your school, get education.
I'm interested about your sister who's in the Philippines. Does she ever think about following your footsteps here? She's the
She's all
only one. Does she have a family in the Philippines? And she's the only one left there with her family, right?
had a husband, and then she had a one kid, one girl, like I think she's 12 years old or 10 years old. So well, just like last night, me and her talking in Messenger, I told her, would you want to I am asking her, do you want to like apply in Canada or something, that if you get a job there, you and your family, we could visit you in Canada. And she said she wanted here in the US. It's kind of hard to get a job here in the US, like that H1B visa.
Mm-hmm.
You find a company that will sponsor you and bring you here work wise. That's rare.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably one in a million or something, that you get a job and then you'll be here.
Have you
So
thought of like filing for a petition for her too and her family, or
I think
should your parents do it?
I think I my if my mom and dad, because they're both U.S. citizen now, so if they they can file it, they can petition them, but they really need like both of them has to be like working, and with that their age, it's kind of hard to work now for their age. My dad could work, but it's on a part-time basis. And the US is really strict on the support. They wanted a paperwork that
So
you.
your parents, if your parents will file for your sister's family
Mhm.
to come here,
Yeah.
they should show to the government that one of them's working.
Yeah, working, and then had the support. They could support them. It,
Mm,
like
okay.
the house, the housing, the food and stuff. You can you Yeah, because that's one of the things that the US were asking. How can you if who's gonna support you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, Paying this and
Mm-hmm.
that. They're really strict on that. They're gonna ask you. You're basically us too when they're petitioning us as a K1 big visa. They were really looking for it. And
Yes.
even my mom and dad, they're looking for things that, hey, are you gonna be able to support them? Are
Yeah.
you going to do this, pay for this and that?
Because they just don't want, the government doesn't want them just to be a burden for the government. You mentioned about the weather. How did you
Mhm.
cope with the challenges of the weather?
You have to like double, triple your clothing from a humid place, in the Philippines. Now you have to like double your shirt, like or triple
Mm-hmm.
your shirt. You have
Yes.
a sweatpants and sweatshirt, and you have a coat, and
Yes.
then a socks, and then you have to wear boots. And
After 17 years, can you honestly say that you have adjusted or you're still not
yeah,
used to it?
kind of, sorta, yeah. But I
Mm,
still walk around the house barefoot, and then my husband and the kids are laughing at me. How can you stand, walking around the house barefoot? Well,
uh-huh.
I'm used to it, but now that I'm getting older, yeah, I had to wear socks now, kind of around the house 'cause it's really cold. It's not
Yeah.
like before when you're younger, like 10 years ago, I could just, walk all over without like on the slippers only, sandals. Nowadays, no, I have to have like a shoe. Like I have to have a socks and a sandals. Yeah, like a comfy, very, like how I get comfy, comfortable.
You know what? Listening to your story, like, moving to the US, moving to Japan, and back to the US, and then staying
Mm-hmm.
with mom, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
you help your family back home, and then, was instrumental in bringing them here also. It's like you achieved the American dream.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It is still there as long as you work hard. No, yeah, work hard, value your job, and then just be honest. Don't be choosy. You have to start somewhere at the bottom, and then you have to move up. Just work hard, really work hard, and willing to learn. You know what I mean? Just be patient, and then the main thing is adaptability. You have
Mhm.
to adapt. You have to be really brave too at the same time. I know it's scary, and then it's really, you don't know what's gonna happen, but yeah, as soon as you go, your foot is in the door. Yeah, you could adjust it and learn it from it. You learn fast as long as you value those things. It's still in your mind or your heart or in your head. Yeah.
I'm really glad na we kept our friendship even though we were mostly online. And after that, 17 years ago, after that parting ways, we
Yeah.
never saw each other, but I'm so happy we kept in touch. And now you granted me this interview. I'm really happy, and I'm happy to see your hair grow and like my.
Yeah. I mean, I have a few friends. I have a coworker, an older lady, that it's a Filipina. She's really nice. Her husband is a retired, Air Force.
Mm,
Um, both working in the IRS. She's really nice. She's one of my closest. And then I have a few here and there, but I'm not really like to go out and hang out. I'm really very private, and then just at home only, with my kids, with my dogs, and TV and computer. That's it,
Were
really.
you like that in the Philippines? Was it the same lifestyle?
Uh, yeah, I have a few also back in the Philippines, but it's not as big. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do
So
you
you
keep in touch with your few friends back home?
Yes, yeah. Some of my friends in college, yeah, I do. Sometimes we do this like in Messenger. Yeah, we
Mm.
did talk to each other. Yeah, I think what Christmas, I think, or New Year, I did call them. You know, like I was in my jammies, and yeah, a few of them in college. Yeah, I do. In high school, uh, I'm a little bit, but not as close in high school. Some of my closest are, either on their own, or I don't have contact anymore. It's mostly this college friends, in friends, college friends is the one that I have in contact with. Yeah, I talked to three or four because one is in Canada, and then a lot of them is still in the Philippines. So yeah, I talk to them quite a bit. I like to have few friends, like a few circle, not a bigger circle. Because yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. It's like my aunt in Texas, and she told me, yeah, it's better to have a smaller group of friends than a bigger one that you are really a social butterfly or popular, but you don't know who is true in that.
That's a
That's
very good advice. That's very good
that's
advice. It's still true and I think will forever be true. How's your
Mhm.
relationship with your in-laws? Did you have a hard time adjusting with foreign in-laws?
My mother is really sweet, and she's really nice and sweet. My father-in-law is, like, he has certain ways.
Mm.
Of course, uh he had, when he cooks, he wanted me to eat the cook. Of course, I miss those food. I miss the food. uh First 4 months in here, yeah, I miss the food real bad. But yeah, and the serving really big plate. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's some of the foods that he eat. Because I don't want to be rude, so I'll eat it, but I'll spit it.
Did you stay with them? Like when you got here and you got married, how long did you stay with your in-laws?
I think maybe 6 months or 4 months. If I remember correctly. Yeah, yeah, not that long.
Did you live in an apartment first or you bought a house right away?
I think we bought a small house.
Mm.
Our home, like for the three of us. Because yeah, that's so what we started from, and then we sold that because we went moved into Japan. We just
Mhm.
Here we had that house, so we moved in Japan, and then we went back. Then we stayed maybe another 6 months to them, before we found this house now that we've been here since 2000. Fast forward now, so yeah, more than 10 we're here.
What advice can you give to people who wanted to follow our footsteps? Like we both married foreigners and we are here in the US, living the good life, living a better life that we left in the Philippines. So, what advice can you give them?
Well, if they plan to come here, or married someone, they have to be smart. Make sure really that the guy is not a bad guy. You have to be smart, careful. If you're already degree holder or any education, it does help coming on board here. Your skills, whatever your skills that you have back home, you could bring it in here and then use it for working, and then just value your work. Whatever you don't be choosy. You start from the very bottom and then you go way up. Just be patient. Just work hard. Be smart. Just be honest.
Do you want to travel when the kids are gone or
Uh,
like, when they're on their own?
yes, I want to travel, but probably back home again. Yeah, I want to visit a lot of places in there. So yeah, I can't, I won't able, I didn't do like go to Boracay, go to Baguio. Those are the places that, or the beaches, even though my family is in Quezon, my mom's side. Oh, and I was born in Quezon. So even though there's beaches there, there's better beaches that you could go and hang out, spend the day, or go ride on a boat, or go fishing.
I asked about retirement. If you are planning on retiring in the Philippines, and you said that it's most likely no. So you probably end up here. And then how do you see yourself? Like, because a lot of Filipinas are actually trying to avoid being here in a place where when you grow old, you will be placed in a nursing home. Have you ever thought about that? Like,
I've never thought about it. Yeah, that's a good that's a good question. I don't
okay,
know.
we'll revisit that. Ha? Think about that because this interview will have a sequel because
Yes.
I have I know you have to work. So thank you so much, Grace. I'm so happy.